In our comfort zone, most of us would behave in a socially acceptable manner. But when we feel stressed or challenged, our behavior can become problematic. Every behavior, whether acceptable or problematic, is basically driven by an intent or a primary purpose it wants to accomplish. There are four identified general intents that determine how people will react to any situation. These are not the only intentions that motivate people, but they are useful for us to understand and deal with difficult behaviors. The four intents are the intentions to get it done, get it right, get along, and get appreciated. The four intents are represented in the four quadrants you saw previously. Do you remember which one you chose? Let's find out more about what they mean. The first quadrant corresponds to the intention to get it done. People in this quadrant tend to be more assertive and more focused on the task at hand. What's most important to them is having control. If they are not able to get the task done, they tend to exhibit difficult behaviors like the tank, sniper, and know-it-all. The second quadrant is get it right. While the people in this quadrant are still very much focused on the task at hand, they tend to be less assertive. They are after perfection, and so if you don't do the task in a way that meets their criteria, they will exhibit difficult behaviors like the whiner and no person. The third quadrant is get along. People in this quadrant tend to be less assertive, and they are more focused on the people and relationships involved. This group of people prioritize the needs and interests of others over their own. If they feel that their words or actions would not allow them to get along with others, they begin to demonstrate difficult behaviors like the nothing person, yes person, and maybe person. The final quadrant is get appreciated. People in this quadrant tend to be more assertive and very focused on people. The desire to contribute to others and be appreciated for it is one of their most powerful motivations. If there is a lack of positive feedback and they feel underappreciated, they begin to show difficult behaviors aimed at getting attention, like the grenade or the think they know it all. The four intents, get it done, get it right, get along, and get appreciated, have their time and place in our lives. They are constantly shifting depending on the person and actual situation. This will bring changes to behavior, whether acceptable or problematic. You may begin on a project with plenty of time to spare, so you want to get it right. But other commitments take time away from you to do your project, and before you know it, you have to shift to get it done mode. When starting a new job, you may lean towards getting along. But over time, you may react to the same situation differently because your focus has now changed to wanting to contribute and getting appreciated for it. If these intents are unfulfilled over time, behaviors can be pushed to the extreme and become the difficult behaviors we saw in the role play. This is the reason why a person's behavior can sometimes change from one moment to the next. With this understanding, a key learning point here is that we sometimes can be our own worst enemy. Because of our own attitudes and behaviors, we could become someone's difficult person. What's more, we could also be the trigger for their difficult behaviors. Difficult behavior is often reinforced and even made worse by thoughtless and negative reactions from people around them. To change these behaviors positively, thoughtful responses are required. As such, there are attitudinal changes and behavioral changes that we can adopt to minimize adverse reactions in other people and reduce the differences between us and the difficult person in order to forge a common ground for mutual understanding and hopefully cooperation. Let's discuss this in the next section.